Hannah Freeman's story reads like a nightmare disguised as a drama. An ex-teacher, the daughter of a police chief, turned stalker, tracked her ex-boyfriend 33 times in less than 3 weeks. But when the courtroom doors closed, it wasn't just the law she faced. It was reality crashing down on entitlement, obsession, and privilege. This is the story of how control, obsession, and family connections collided in a single courtroom moment that left everyone stunned.
27-year-old Hannah Freeman faces menacing by stalking charges, along with burglary, aggravated theft, and more. She's accused of stalking and stealing from her ex-boyfriend.
Hannah Freeman was 27 years old and a 4th grade teacher in North Ridgeville, Ohio. She worked at Ranger High-Tech Academy, a school just outside Cleveland. Her students knew her as friendly and caring, but behind the classroom walls, her life was more complicated. Hannah had recently ended a relationship with her boyfriend David. What seemed like a heartbreak soon turned into something far more serious. Hannah's life before the breakup looked normal. She taught children, went to work, and lived in a quiet neighborhood. But her personal life began unraveling when David ended their relationship. Friends described Hannah as emotional and impulsive, but nobody expected what came next. The breakup sparked a chain of events that escalated quickly and dangerously. Hannah and David had been together for several months. Their relationship had ups and downs, like many young couples. In April 2024, David decided to end things. He tried to move on, but Hannah did not accept the breakup. She started contacting him constantly, showing up uninvited at his home and even at his workplace. At first, it was small things. She would send messages, call repeatedly, and appear at places David frequented. David, wanting peace, tried to avoid her, but Hannah's behavior grew more persistent. By November, it had turned into full-blown stalking. David began to feel unsafe and reached out to the police. The stalking was not random or accidental. Hannah tracked David's routine carefully. She knew where he worked, where he went, and when he would be alone. Her actions were methodical. Cameras later confirmed that Hannah went to David's workplace in Westlake, Ohio, 33 times over 19 days. She watched him, waited, and looked for opportunities to interact, even when David made it clear he wanted no contact. Hannah's stalking soon escalated beyond following David. On November 6, 2024, things took a dramatic turn. David had made it clear she was no longer welcome, but Hannah attempted to spend the night at his apartment. She arrived uninvited, hoping to force interaction. When she discovered another woman there, she snapped. Her actions became criminal and deliberate. Hannah broke into David's unlocked car. She took 2 backpacks containing laptops, his wallet, car keys, and even prescription medications. These were not random acts. Every step seemed calculated to regain control over David, manipulate him, and stay in his life against his wishes. The theft and break-in were tools, not emotional outbursts. They were part of a plan to continue her obsession. The next day, David called 911. His voice carried fear and exhaustion. He recounted how Hannah had been showing up repeatedly, breaking into his property, and stealing his belongings.
Westlake Police, can I help you?
My ex-girlfriend continues to stalk me and park her car next to wherever I am and follow me home every night.
Police arrived quickly, and what they found was chilling. Hannah was sitting in her car, exactly where David said she would be, watching and waiting. The precision of her stalking showed her determination and lack of regard for boundaries.
This is her vehicle, driving into the parking lot of the middle school where her then ex-boyfriend worked. This is surveillance video that shows Freeman's car, that red vehicle that passes by outside her ex's school. Police say she visited the school 33 times in just 19 days. And this was months after her ex said the two of them had broken up. Police say she went to the school, she sat in her car, and just waited in the parking lot.
Westlake Police, can I help you? Westlake Police, how can I help you? Hello?
My ex-girlfriend continues to stalk me and park her car next to wherever I am and follow me home every night.
How long has it been happening?
Probably a month now.
Have you ever contacted police about it?
No.
Okay, where are you at?
So, as I just called you, she got back in her car and stormed off.
That was a 911 call that her boyfriend made. And then on November 7th, Freeman goes to the school. Her boyfriend calls 911 again, and this time officers arrive and confront her in the parking lot.
Hannah Freeman?
Hannah Freeman? Are you supposed to be up here? Mm-hmm. You are? Were you in his vehicle earlier?
Mm-hmm.
No?
Well, we went to get dinner together, but...
Where'd you guys go get dinner at?
King's.
King's?
King's, yeah.
Raising Cane's? Which one?
North Olmsted.
North Olmsted? Okay. Well, we got a complaint from him that you were in his vehicle tonight and you're harassing him and stalking him.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Did you take some items from him last night?
David's 9/11 report was detailed. He described not only the break-in and theft, but also other violations. Hannah had accessed his accounts without permission, used his credit cards for online purchases, and continued contacting him despite repeated warnings. These actions painted a clear picture. This was not impulsive behavior driven only by heartbreak. It was methodical, consistent, and escalating. Hannah Freeman's life flipped upside down in a matter of months. Once a trusted fourth-grade teacher, she became the center of a criminal case that shocked her community. It all started with David, her ex-boyfriend, calling 911 multiple times. Hannah had been showing up everywhere he was. His workplace, his home, even his parents' house. She didn't just visit. She broke into his car, took 2 backpacks with laptops, medications, a wallet, and car keys, and racked up charges on his credit card. Every movement she made was captured on surveillance cameras. In just 19 days, she drove to his school 33 times. David's life became a maze of fear. He never knew where she would show up next. When the police arrived, body camera footage captured Hannah's unusual calm. She wasn't panicked or scared. She wasn't apologetic. She acted casual, like what she did was normal. She reframed her actions in her mind. Stealing laptops and medications? Not a crime, just returning items or helping. She treated law enforcement like a minor inconvenience, not as a consequence of her behavior. Even handcuffed and being read her rights, she seemed detached, matter-of-fact, and completely unbothered. Her calm stood in stark contrast to David's weeks of fear, anxiety, and harassment.
We have the body cam video of when she was first arrested after allegedly going to her ex's work more than 30 times in 19 days.
The police records showed the full scale of her offenses. Hannah had stolen property, manipulated digital accounts, and made unauthorized purchases. Each act was deliberate, each visit planned. She wanted to maintain contact with David at all costs, regardless of legality. Her behavior wasn't a random emotional outburst. It was a calculated campaign of control. Each stolen laptop, each visit to his workplace, each breach of his accounts added up to systematic abuse. Legally, Hannah's situation was serious. She faced 5 felony charges: stalking, burglary, 2 counts of aggravated theft, identity fraud, and theft of drugs. Each one carried the possibility of years in prison. But by June 2025, a legal maneuver transformed her case. The felonies were reduced to 3 misdemeanors: disorderly conduct, obstructing official business, and possessing criminal tools. How did someone with multiple felonies get away with misdemeanors? Privilege, skilled legal arguments, and societal tendencies to minimize female criminality played a role. Her attorney argued that her repeated visits weren't stalking. They were care. The relationship, he said, hadn't ended in April as David claimed. Her presence at his workplace and home, merely helping with classwork or checking in. Theft of laptops, medications, and personal items. Misunderstandings, not crimes. The narrative was flipped from harassment to helpfulness, from criminal to caring. Even with mountains of evidence, eyewitness accounts, surveillance footage, stolen property, her legal team rewrote the story. David watched helplessly as weeks of terror, intimidation, and theft became reframed as a minor relationship dispute. The law appeared to shrink the danger she posed. Her calm during arrest wasn't the only sign she felt untouchable. Her lawyer, Michael Kinlan, tried to shield her from the consequences, claiming a plea deal had been arranged to prevent jail time. But the judge, David Mattia, reminded everyone in the courtroom that he had the final say. "Your bad practice is not my problem," he told Kinlan.
Your bad practice is not my problem. I don't think it's my bad practice. We're done.
The plea negotiations drastically changed what could have been a life-altering sentence. Instead of facing prison for multiple felonies, Hannah was set to serve 18 months of probation, with 7 days in county jail, GPS monitoring for the first 90 days, house arrest with work release, mental health counseling, and strict no-contact orders with David. The legal system tried to balance accountability with leniency, but the reality of her actions, obsessive, repeated, and calculated, remained chilling. Hannah's mindset during the arrest and legal proceedings revealed a disturbing pattern. She understood the law, she understood the consequences, and yet she acted with deliberate disregard. Her repeated visits, thefts, and digital manipulations weren't mistakes. They were strategic. Each act kept David in her orbit, forced him to fear for his safety, and allowed her to control the narrative. The legal system reduced the charges, but it couldn't erase the months of harassment he endured. For David, the documentation was precise and horrifying. Police reports detailed her tracking him, accessing his accounts, and stealing $1,100 worth of items, including laptops and a wallet. Surveillance footage confirmed everything. Each act wasn't random. It was a step in a persistent campaign to invade his life. Hannah's calm and calculated demeanor contrasted sharply with the severity of her actions. Law enforcement, legal records, and courtroom drama all confirmed that this was more than a breakup gone wrong. It was organized, intentional stalking. Even when facing legal consequences, Hannah showed minimal remorse. She read a carefully prepared statement in court, saying she regretted acting out of emotion, and that steps would be taken to move on. But her tone was flat, detached, and almost rehearsed. Her statement failed to convey genuine understanding of the trauma she caused. In her mind, the system might punish her, but her entitlement was clear. She believed she could shape the story, and in many ways, she had. The day of sentencing, the air in the courtroom was tense. Hannah had prepared a statement. She read it slowly, carefully. "I regret the incident. I definitely acted out of emotion, and I regret that decision I made that night. I will take steps necessary to move on from this incident, and you will not see me back here again." Her voice sounded rehearsed. No real emotion, just words.
I regret the incident. I definitely acted out of emotion, and I regret that decision that I made that night, and I will take steps necessary to move on from this incident, and you will not see me back here again.
Okay, thank you.
Hannah's reaction was immediate. She screamed. She cried. She could not believe she was going to jail. The courtroom froze. People whispered. Even her attorney, Michael Kinlan, seemed stunned. He tried to argue that they had an agreement for no jail time, but Judge Mattia was firm. "Your bad practice is not my problem," he told Kinlan. The courtroom became electric with tension. Hannah tried to withdraw her plea, to change her fate at the last second. Mattia refused. The judge said it was too late. Hannah had to face the consequences.
I'm offended that you would make the insinuation here that I don't work enough.
I'm not making that insinuation.
When was this case indicted?
December.
Yeah, half a year ago. Did you make any effort to talk to me in the last 6 months about how I would sentence your client?
Yes,
No.
we did.
You did? When?
When I asked you to take her off GPS back in April.
Okay, I did.
Yes.
But that wasn't about sentencing, was it?
The drama was almost surreal. The attorney and the judge clashed, but the outcome was clear. Hannah Freeman, the woman who believed privilege could shield her would spend her first. 7 days in jail. The crowd watched as she was walked out, crying, shrieking, unprepared for reality. Hannah Freeman's behavior shows a textbook case of an entitled stalker. She believed David belonged to her. Every theft, every uninvited visit, every unauthorized login was framed in her mind as caring. When her charm and manipulation failed, she escalated to crime. She thought love justified action. David experienced the consequences firsthand. He had to change routines, lock his car, watch cameras, and call police. He endured fear in his workplace and home. Men in his position often hesitate to report stalking, fearing disbelief or judgment. David broke that silence. Police reports and court records detailed Hannah's actions: systematic harassment, theft, and boundary violations. This wasn't emotional confusion. It was deliberate, methodical, and dangerous. Even when confronted, Hannah tried to rationalize her behavior. She claimed David had invited her, that the relationship was ongoing, and that she had permission to access his property. But evidence proved otherwise. License plate readers, security footage, stolen laptops, medications, and credit card charges all told the story. Her manipulation collapsed in the courtroom, revealing a dangerous mix of entitlement, obsession, and lack of empathy. At the sentencing hearing, Hannah's attorney believed they had a joint agreement with prosecutors for probation only. They did not anticipate jail time. The judge, however, reminded everyone that the law's ultimate authority lies with him. He had not been consulted fully, and the defense attorney had not prepared his client for the possibility of local jail. The courtroom became a high-tension stage. Hannah's screams echoed as she faced reality. Criminal defense attorney Diane Menashe later analyzed the hearing. She explained that proper preparation with the judge could have prevented the meltdown. Defense attorneys must discuss plea expectations, review PSI reports, and anticipate judicial reactions. Hannah's attorney skipped critical steps, leaving his client blindsided.
The defense attorney didn't do what all of us do, which is before we enter into that courtroom, we make sure that we sit down with the judge and we know as much as we can.
The case highlights the consequences of legal missteps. The defense attorney assumed the judge would follow the joint recommendation without confirming it. Plea agreements are suggestions, not guarantees. Judges may deviate based on facts, evidence, or courtroom behavior. Hannah's scripted apology did not impress the judge. It seemed dismissive, rehearsed, and unconvincing. Her demeanor made it harder for the judge to accept a probation-only outcome. The judge's decision for 7 days in county jail was within standard procedure for misdemeanor probation. With her record, evidence, and behavior, the local jail sentence was a reasonable step. Hannah's attorney failed to prepare her for this reality, and her public emotional outburst reflected the lack of readiness. Menashe emphasized that the attorney's conduct, arguing with the judge mid-sentencing and attempting to withdraw the plea, further damaged his reputation. The courtroom was icy, tension high, and everyone could sense the friction. A well-prepared defense attorney would have prevented such a dramatic scene, advised Hannah on what to expect, and guided her through her statement. Hannah's life changed drastically after the sentencing. She lost her teaching job permanently. Her contract expired June 30th, and she never returned to North Ridgeville schools. GPS monitoring, house arrest, mental health counseling, and strict no-contact orders became her daily reality. For the first 7 days, she stayed in county jail. David received legal protection. The case highlighted issues in privilege, male victim recognition, and systemic accountability. Law enforcement confirmed the harassment through extensive documentation, stolen items, license plate readings, surveillance footage, and multiple 911 calls. Each act Hannah committed was intentional. Each was a step in a pattern of abuse. Hannah's emotional response in court, screaming, crying, disbelief, reflected a shocking realization. The world does not protect entitlement. Privilege did not save her. Legal missteps by her attorney did not protect her, and the justice system, though imperfect, ensured some accountability. What do you think? Should her sentence have been harsher, or was justice served? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. If you want more true crime stories like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we dive into jaw-dropping cases like this every week. Stay alert, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.